And what I want to do is show you an actual formulary, how that actually interacts at the time of when you're prescribing. So I'm going to use a different patient. So I'll go ahead and pull up David Cross. And I actually did the eligibility. I have my visit. And at that point, I went ahead and I already triggered my eligibility so that I can have that already prepared for you guys. We didn't have to go through that process, but I will show you what will appear once the response comes back. And that response for eligibility in regards to the benefits that a patient has, that's going to appear on the View RX Benefit tab. So once you click that, you'll notice that it has insurance information, and here's David Cross, his plan name and number, the group number, the coverage status. You'll have all of that information. If the PBM sends back any copay information, any percentage coverage information, we will show that. But if they don't send it to us, then we can't display it. Okay, and the way that I went ahead and I triggered the real-time inquiry is by hitting this hyperlink. And since it was already done, there is a requirement at SureScripts that you cannot send out an eligibility request again until 72 hours have passed. So that's why you will see this message. This patient has been checked successfully within the last 72 hours. The only time when you can do a recheck is if there was some type of communication error, some type of error that maybe information in the patient file needed to be corrected and you had to resend. But if it went successfully, you will only be able to send that one time within that time frame. So I will close that, and let's go ahead and take a look at a prescription. So we will look at, I will pull up, I will use the Cinepril again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a medicine that actually is considered covered or on formulary. So let's see. Right now what the system is doing, it actually is doing a real-time check against a server that is housing the information for formularies. So it's doing a check and it's looking based on the dosage. So we see over to the right that this drug under Plan A, and he only had one plan. So under Plan A, this drug is preferred level 1, so it is covered. It's generic, needs a prescription, any drug-specific information. They can use any pharmacy, so it's not designated to only retail, mail order. That information would be here. And then copay information, this is considered a tier 1 of 3. Now, if this was a medicine that was not covered, let's go ahead and let's choose one that's not covered, which I believe is 2.5. Going in and it's doing the recheck again, and it's looking based on that dosage and looking against that plan. So when a drug is not covered, the system will automatically display the alternatives for you, whether it be whether it is pair alternatives or therapeutic. You will see all of that in one page. So the system will automatically redirect you. So there's no guessing about it. I mean, we know that this drug dosage for this plan is non-reimbursable automatically. And then what it will do is, if there were any payer alternatives, it will show it at the top. We don't have any in this instance, but therapeutic we do. You'll take a look, you'll see that the 40 is preferred level 3. So the way that the list displays is the highest level of coverage. If it's preferred level 3, then that's going to show first. And then it will go all the way through the levels, and you'll see that there's different drugs based on that therapeutic class. You'll have that information. And if you wanted to change and say, okay, well, Lisinopril is not covered, but I'll go ahead and I'll go with the, I'll just say the Catapril 50 milligram, I'll just choose one. what it will do is you just have to hit the hyperlink, and the system will automatically populate that information into the prescription writer, so you don't have to do anything else. So it brings it in automatically, and you can move on as needed. So you'll see that it's covered Plan A, preferred level 1, and we can prescribe as normal. So in this instance, what I'll do is I'll throw in some comments, testing, message again, and then I'll say OK. And then hit Save in ERX. That automatically brings me to my confirmation window where I can submit. My preferred pharmacy is already populated. Everything looks good here. I'll go ahead and hit confirm. I do have to take a look at this confirmation page. I'll notice that my note to pharmacy is displaying here. Everything looks good. I hit prescribe. At that point, I'll get my status, and then I can refresh, and I can take a look at that status, and Catapro was sent successfully. So that's it. It is now handed off to SureScripts. There is no other steps within that process. So I will click Close. So we did our formulary check with David Cross. One other thing before I forget, because I did bring up this patient for a reason. I have another patient. This is Mr. Dockendorf, Tad Dockendorf. He actually has more than one plan. So I wanted to show you how that looked and if there was any demographic differences from the PBM than what's in Prime Suite, because that can happen. So I want to show you how we flag that within the system so that you know sent back maybe a little bit a difference within their demographics than what we have in Prime Suite. So I've already done my eligibility check. So again, to look at eligibility, you would go to View RX Benefit, and you'll notice that he has 3 plans. Okay, and each one of these plans are active. And you'll have additional information if there's any retail out-of-pocket, mail order out-of-pocket, copays. They did send the information, so we're able to show that to you. So whatever additional information that they're able to send, we have already prepared on the back end within Prime Suite to receive it and then to display it. So you'll notice that there is a note at the very bottom that says patient info from one or more drug plans may differ from patient registration data. So at this point, we can use this hyperlink where it says compare patient data, that, and it will open up the demographics, and it will show you what's in Prime Suite in the first column. This is the first pair, which is PBMB. They have his middle name spelled out instead of just the initial. You'll notice that there is a difference in the date of birth. The second pair, they added a suffix, and also they added the apartment information. The third pair, they really didn't give much of any information. So if we don't get back anything, you're going to have a listing that says not supplied. So at that point, if I wanted to make a change and go to the patient's information to update maybe his middle name, I can go ahead and click on this hyperlink for patient information, and it would just navigate me to that window where I can go ahead and update that if I needed to. But I'll click on the X. So just know that if we do get any kind of differences within demographics, we do notify you, and you're able to go ahead and make those changes if needed. The other thing I wanted to show you is that since this patient has more than one plan, you're able to look at each plan. You're able to view the coverage information to say, well, you know what, this plan doesn't cover this medicine, but this other plan, they do. So we'll use that information. So I'll use Zyprexa. and I'll choose 10 milligram, and it's doing that check to see, okay, Zyprexa, what plans did he have, and it automatically will look at the first plan, so pair 1, and automatically the system reverted that medication was found to be not on the formulary or non-reimbursable because it automatically navigated us to the alternatives. So take a look. Zyprexa oral tablet 10 milligram, non-formulary. It gives us this information, but this plan, PBMB, they don't cover it. So we have the option to change if we wanted to use this plan, or we can toggle and we can look at the other plans that he has. So if he has Aetna and he has Cigna, you would see all of that information here, and you would just hit the radio button, and the system actually has to do another recheck, and it would refresh this window with the details for that plan with this medicine. So this one's taking a little bit longer just because of our little test environment here. So let's just give it, okay, so I switched and I went to PBMA. And PBMA, it is on formulary, and you notice that it will not show us alternatives at this point because this drug is covered. So if we wanted to go ahead and use this plan, we can go ahead and select the medication name, hit that hyperlink, and it will just bring us back into the prescription writer, and it will associate with that plan and the details. So you're able to see all of that information right here, and then you would populate the prescription as usual. And in this example, I'll just hit save because I won't need to send it. So just showing you the difference of a patient who has one plan versus one that has multiple plans that you're able to toggle and look at.